The Undead Iron Fist, issue number 2. That's right, folks. You might not have known this, but Danny Rand died recently, and now he's back with a vengeance and a rad costume. Rad being in quotation marks, because is it? And is this book anything for anybody? I'm a Danny Rand supporter. I've always talked about that. I said it in the first issue. I'll say it in this one. He's a character I really enjoy, and one of the ones I think has been mishandled of late. I'm not opposed to an idea like this for Danny Rand. I 100% understand the desire to make Lin Lai the main Iron Fist. I don't think that has stuck. I think the people who are still writing these comics want more Danny Rand stuff than they do Lin Lai stuff, which I understand and I'm not against. I do have some issues with the interpretation of the Danny Rand character in this book, but those are things that we can, I guess, fix as the story goes on. I'm still okay with the artwork. I think Fran Galan is doing pretty good here. The coloring might be helping it a lot, Jim Campbell's coloring, because it's pretty sketchy and like really faded. I don't know how to describe it, but there's just like really interesting like pencil work that's not really like inked, you know? It's just like coloring the pencils. So that's something. So this book opens up, we kind of pick up where we left off, and Danny is running through the streets of New York. He's fighting away the demons that have possessed these people. He keeps saying, remember what you're doing this for. These things that call themselves the Rafflings, and they're working for your enemy. You got to get to who your enemy is so you can stop this from happening. He's just chasing them all over the place. His powers are very varied, because he's climbing up some scaffolding, and he like turns a ladder into something that's non-corporeal. I don't know how to describe it. It's very weird. But he gets to a roof, he fights more of them, and that's when he sees like the Rand Corporation building behind him, and it reminds him of what Orson was saying to him, and in like the past when he was like dead and he was being resurrected. So we get a couple pages of just Danny using his attacks to fight people. It looks pretty good. I do enjoy it. One woman almost falls off the side of a building, and she's caught by Daredevil. So Daredevil's in the book now, which makes sense. Let's cut to see what Orson was telling him in like the underworld, just saying like everything we knew was a lie, man. There's some chapters that they left out in the books of the Iron Fist. We'll figure out what that is later. But let's get to the crux of this book, which is just Danny fighting these guys. It's pretty much the only thing happening. Not saying that as a negative. I'm just like, yeah, good majority of this book is like explaining a move he's doing and then giving some little narration from Danny's inner monologue of like, I'm not going to kill these people. They're innocent in this, but I got to do what I can to fight them off. I'm like, okay, you can, you will. You do that. Suddenly he is stopped by Daredevil, who realizes like, dude, I understand what you're doing. Even if these people are mind controlled, you're doing some dangerous stuff here. You're fighting very dangerously. And that's when he like radar senses Danny to figure out what he is, but can't really get a reading on him, because Danny's going to go fight the police now. Uh-oh. And his fists are glowing purple, ready to fight the police, but Daredevil steps in to stop him. Like, dude, just stop what you're doing. I can handle you, man. Let's knock this off. So then we get a little bit more of the flashback, and Orson is explaining that he tried to become resurrected so he could help Danny in his fight with Razor Fist. If you haven't read the Iron Fist 50th Anniversary Special, that is where we saw the death of Danny Rand. And he's like, I couldn't do it. Like, we are just these soldiers made to die. Why do you think the Iron Fist Order keeps, like, sending its soldiers to die? Kind of the thing that Orson's explaining to him. He's like, come on, Danny. Us Iron Fists are lined up to die for a reason. You've experienced it yourself. And you take down the one who wrote the damn book. You're like, oh, so the person who wrote the book on Iron Fist is actually using them for fodder? Kind of cool. It kind of goes into, like, the parallel of making Iron Fist like Moon Knight. And I do like Moon Knight. He's another one of my favorite characters at Marvel. I wonder why that is. Do you think it's because we can like legacy this character so in any time period we play with we can make an Iron Fist? I don't really know that, but we'll see what that is. So back in the present, Daredevil goes in to attack him, and Danny turns into a phantom, and like he just like phases through Matt as he crashes down. And that's when you start to realize things aren't going to go well for anybody here. Danny's got a mission. He's got to get to Times Square, and he's doing this to save Pei and Lin Lai. He's doing it for, like, all of them, all the future generations, which is kind of cool. That's a very Danny Rand thing. I did talk about in the first issue how I think there's some problems with the characteristic of Danny in this book, but him being, like, the old uncle who's trying to take care of the younger generation, I do like that for him, and that's kind of what we're getting from this issue, so it works for me in that aspect. He gets to Times Square where, like, most of the people are turned into these zombie weird demon things, so he's fighting them as best he can, and that's when Daredevil steps in. He's like, I know it's you, Danny. I can recognize your movements. Like, you can't keep going like this. But I got to. So he, like, phases his arm so the billy club strings fall through it, and he's like, I gotta keep going. Can you fight them off for me? And, like, all the hordes just start, like, attacking Daredevil, and Danny goes, he's not possessed because he's a man of the faith. There must be, like, a higher being watching out for him. But Danny just keeps running. He just keeps running, knocking down as many hordes as he can, taking down people who've took over a police car. He's doing his best to fight through it. It does look cool, I think it's a very interesting style. Not very standard for what we've seen from Marvel at this time, but I do think it's very well handled. So Danny just keeps bursting his way through everything, doing his best to make it to Rand Corporation. And that's when we get the final page reveal of what's actually going on here. And we see that the person who is taking over Rand Enterprises, he's standing there. He's like, yes, Danny, I'm waiting here. I don't care what new powers you possess, whose avatar you think you have become. I, Quan Yaozu, will be your end. And I'm like, okay, cool. Quan Yaozu. He wrote the book of the Iron Fist, maybe. He's got a book. He's got a book there. It's probably the book of the Iron Fist. Is he somebody that took over everything? I know my Iron Fist lore. I haven't thought about Quan Yaozu in a while, if he's an old character or a new one. I can't remember. But because we're playing with old themes, I'm guessing he's an old character, so I'm cool. That's fun. Most of this book's just watching a weird-looking Iron Fist fight people in New York. So that's something. I think the characteristic for Danny here is a little more strong. I still don't think I like the edge to all of this, but second issue now where we had a big cameo to help people want to read it. The first issue we had Spider-Man, and now we have Daredevil. I don't know how I'm feeling, but I'm not against it. I'm just not fully embracing it, per se. We'll have to see what happens in the next issue. So, the Undead Iron Fist issue number 2, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.